Wondering why I'm the only one offering a 100% money back guarantee if you don't pass the exam on your first try with no fine print? Well, that's because I found a loophole in the system that makes failing the PMP exam almost impossible. Click below to register now. Now, if you want to get PMP certified on the first try and avoid the typical confusion, stress, and headaches most project managers experience along the way, then this is the most important message you'll hear. I'm Cecilio Mills, aka CJ, the Agile PMP. And while I might be the highest ranked PMP instructor in the Bay Area and Silicon Valley because of my Beyond the Certification teaching system, which has over 1,600 first-time passers, 29 of 30 5-star Yelp reviews, and a 99.3% passing rate, when I first pursued my PMP, I suffered my way through it, just like many others. I tried to self-study, figuring I'm a great test taker. Well, committing to an hour a day for 50 days to cover the material quickly turned into 6 months. I was barely scoring 60% on practice exams and still had no confidence for passing. So next, I joined my local PMI chapter to take their discounted boot camp, but quickly learned you get what you pay for. Volunteer project managers as instructors rotated in and out throughout the course. Sad to say, but it turned out to be variations of poor instruction from people who really meant well and wanted to help. So I then paid a few grand to a name brand company with their name brand accelerator system and the same week money back if you don't pass in 3 attempts during the first 3 to 4 months guarantee, only to sit in a room with a speak in a monotone voice, retired, bland instructor. The class didn't understand many of the concepts because he didn't know how to explain them. It got contentious when people asked questions or wanted him to explain further. For the most part, I just struggled to stay awake. His method was, you learn it my way or you don't and fail. To pass, I studied for what felt like 3 more boot camps. Read the PMBOK twice, took 14 practice exams, studied every free moment. You can imagine my frustration. Anyways, while I was lucky enough to pass, my journey was full of lost time, wasted money, stress, and confusion. I thought I had bad luck and chose the wrong boot camp. So when I began teaching PMBOK concepts, I vowed never to be that guy. Now, after years of running projects, teaching project management, and helping PMPs, I was chosen to lead PMI San Francisco Bay Area chapter. And it was there I realized instructors like this are much more common than I thought. Seeing the industry situation from the perspective as CEO of PMI's second largest chapter told me something needed to be changed. I created Beyond the Certification in response to 14,000 project managers I either taught or came into contact with. These interactions told me PMs who turn consultants have a wealth of knowledge but lack teaching skills necessary to break down complex ideas. They also lack multiple delivery methods to ensure knowledge transfer happens. Then on the flip side, you have gifted instructors who can teach you how to pass a test but haven't managed projects. So they can go beyond the surface and help you relate the material or explain using real-life scenarios. In either case, people are left feeling stuck. Now, what makes me a different instructor and why all my students are successful is simple. I'm a trained, credentialed teacher with vast experience managing programs and projects in many different industries and verticals. Now, many can teach, but have never managed projects. Many have managed projects, but don't know how to teach. I do both. And why is this critical to your success? Well, if you start to fall behind in a semester-long class, 16 weeks times 2 hours equals 32, compressed into 4 8-hour days because you don't know what's going on, good luck catching up. Working as a credentialed teacher with adults, children, and those with special needs taught me how to break down every concept as simple as possible. Nobody ever leaves my class without complete understanding. Nobody ever gets left behind. This is extremely important for you. Now, if you can't relate the material to your job, you're learning useless information. As a unicorn in the industry, I've managed projects in the government sector, education, IT infrastructure, nonprofit, R&D, construction, software development, product development, and healthcare. It's why I can give both agile and waterfall examples and create scenarios from your industry that makes you understand the concepts quickly. Being a general project management expert with broad experiences allowed me to handle diverse classes, unlike instructors who only know a single domain. Plus, I go further by making the lessons fun and engaging, even online. Now, I'm not the monotone, boring instructor from your other classes. If you think preparing for this exam at home will be excruciating, think again. I use state-of-the-art sound equipment, I have multiple cameras, and I use the proper filming angles. That way you see the whiteboard, the screen, my face, and the artifacts at the right time in a seamless manner. The hours feel like minutes. At least that's what past students say. Now, you're likely here because you know less than 60% of people who attempt the exam will pass. You want to be in that 60%. So why will 40% fail? Well, most instructors don't exactly know how to teach, let alone give you tools and teach you to focus 4 hours straight to answer PMI's 200 wordy questions designed to confuse you. Your brain will default to old habits if you don't get ready properly, and few boot camps pay attention to this. They know you'll struggle through the first, second, and likely pass by the third attempt, keeping their guarantee safe. Now, the second thing is, when's the last time you sat down for a 200 question exam? I have a colleague who can tell you a specific page and call out the paragraph with PMBOK information. I mean, he's probably forgotten more than most project managers know, yet it took him 3 attempts to pass. Why? Well, simply put, most companies don't think about teaching you question theory and multiple choice exam techniques because it's not in their DNA. Education is not in their background. My Beyond the Certification system works because instead of merely teaching the what other boot camps and instructors struggle to teach you, we go beyond that and into the how and why. I can create real-world scenarios during instruction so you see the concepts in action. I also have the ability to adapt the out-of-the-box material so it's more relevant and retainable. Students typically say it makes studying effortless and keeps it interesting. But next, we shut down PMI's system. I teach you how to break down the questions so they become easy to understand. Then I will show you how to hack the system. One of the things you're going to learn is how to answer questions correctly, even when you don't know the answer. Look, Beyond the Cert curriculum is designed to eliminate the failure points of students. And by now, you probably realize how powerful this is and why I, unlike any other PMP course, dare to offer a first-time pass or your money-back guarantee with no fine print. Over 1,600 passers have already experienced my masterclass. Now you're probably wondering, is this going to be the same for you? Well, once you take the step and join, you discover what anybody who's not used to sitting for 4 hours focusing on multiple choice questions needs to do from the get-go to guarantee not failing. I'll show you the trick that gave hundreds of people with little experience the ability to pass, putting forth less effort than experienced project managers that actually failed. And I'll give you the 4 proven and tested counterintuitive ways to pass the exam and how to quickly find out which one gets you the best results. Now, there are 8 other tricks like the Gaussian method that makes people go from 50% to 70% overnight that you can only discover in my masterclass. So enroll now to learn the secrets I teach my students so they ace the exam effortlessly. Click below. But let's talk about what you get when you join today. So if you've checked other courses, you know most, mine included, offer a guarantee to run on dates listed, 35 PMI approved contact hours, a guide to the Project Management Body of Knowledge or PMBOK guide in its most current edition, and an over 85% passing rate. Well, in my case, 99.3%. But I go the extra mile for you. We provide students access to our online training portal, recorded lectures, mock exams, and a mobile app for studying on the go. You get extremely effective exam taking tips and tricks backed up by science because learning the content alone isn't enough. And on the last day, we do a full 200 question simulated exam with answers and feedback explaining the solution and why the wrong answers are wrong. Now, this is arguably the most valuable thing that somebody can do for you before sitting for the exam. So register for your spot now while there still may be time. I keep my class sizes small to ensure everyone has an enjoyable experience. Now, here's the icing on the cake. The 5 free bonuses you'll get today that instantly helps you become a better project manager, get a promotion or raise, land that job, and make your life easier. So first, ever felt unsure when deciding how to start a new project? That's why if you join our masterclass today, you get our Beyond the Cert project roadmap, where I give you a template and the steps to follow so you can structure every project independent of industry. Second, dealing with stakeholders is one of the most vital things that is hard to master. So I'll give you the Beyond the Cert Stakeholder Strategy Guide with the exact framework developed by ProSci, known as ADKAR, so you can manage your stakeholder engagement correctly and influence change in a complementary way for your organization. Now, third, you will get lifetime access to our Facebook group, the Wednesday Workshop. If you have doubts about what to do in a situation at any point in your career, ask about it and we'll reply. Want to know what to do if people are delivering slower than they should? Non-responsive stakeholders? It's optional to join, so anything you want, ask it, we'll answer it. Fourth, Friday follow-ups, 90-minute tutoring sessions. Look, while studying, you may have a question, and I want you to get an answer. That's why if you need it, you get to email me and ask me anything you need, which I'll answer within 48 hours. You can also ask questions during the optional live sessions on Friday, including watching me diagram answers to the questions I received. And fifth, last but not least, the biggest one here is the application assistance. 25% of students will have their applications audited. They will have to call ex-bosses and send dozens of emails to prove their experience with no guarantee of getting it approved by PMI. Meanwhile, time passes and they start to forget some things, having to study even more for the exam. I make sure this doesn't happen by reviewing and helping you complete the application so you get it approved right away. Now, all these bonuses are available if you join now. So if you're still watching and you haven't signed up yet, then let's talk about the 100% money back guarantee and why mine is different. Again, if you've already been researching, you've seen almost every bootcamp offers a 100% money back guarantee if you don't pass within 3 attempts during the first 3 to 4 months. You'll find they all sell you this guarantee like it's the best thing since sliced bread. But here's what they don't want you to realize. Every time you take the PMP exam, you have to pay exam fees. $555 for the first, $280 for the second and third. In fact, taking it 3 times cost over $1,100. $1,100 you won't get back even if you fail because you can't understand the instructor, which happens a lot, sadly. Add to that the extra time you'll spend and the heartache and stress you'll go through. Wouldn't it be amazing if they just guarantee that you'll pass the first time instead of forcing you to take it 3 times, wasting your time and money? Well, I believe if my product does not make you pass the exam on the first try, I do not deserve your money. It's that simple, in bold, not fine print. Attend the entire course, complete 6 practice exams for our online portal, and take your test within 90 days of completing the course. Now, suppose for some crazy reason you don't pass the first time. In that case, you can ask for a full refund. And if you decide to give it another shot with me, I'll even pay for your next try. I believe in my system 100%. So you ready for a 20% salary increase? The PMP certification is the gold standard credential for project managers worldwide. And studies show that the PMPs earn on average over 15 to 25% more than those without. I've never met a person that regrets or didn't benefit from getting certified. Everyone has benefited professionally and financially, and so will you. Don't let this opportunity pass you by. Register today for one of our upcoming courses in person or online by clicking below. I'll see you in class. Remember that by enrolling now, you're getting everything you need to pass the exam with flying colors. A fun and engaging teacher that will make sure you understand and remember everything easily. Me, right? Our crazy guarantee. Pass on your first attempt or get your money back. No questions asked. And don't forget the 5 free bonuses that'll help you be a better paid project manager and get your PMP certified even faster. So take the next step in your career and choose a time that suits you best by clicking below so you can learn more and earn more. I'll see you in class.